Welcome to the channel, The Coin Merchant. What if I told you that sitting in your spare change right now could be a coin so rare, so extraordinary, that it recently sold for an absolutely mind-blowing $38 million. Most people handle dozens of nickels every single day, tossing them into tip jars or leaving them forgotten in car cup holders, never realizing they might be holding onto a piece of American history that could instantly transform their entire life. The 2013 Jefferson nickel looks completely ordinary on the surface, just another 5-cent piece that most would barely glance at, but hidden within this seemingly mundane coin lies a story of minting errors, collector obsession, and financial dreams that have literally made headlines across the numismatic world. Before we dive deep into this incredible nickel, I need you to stick around because after we explore this $38 million treasure, we're going to reveal 3 more nickels that are even more valuable, including one that recently shattered all previous records and reached a price that will absolutely blow your mind. Plus another discovery that has collectors literally camping outside coin shops hoping to find just one example. The 2013 Jefferson nickel represents one of the most fascinating chapters in modern American coinage, emerging from the Denver Mint during a year that would later be remembered as pivotal in numismatic history. The Denver facility, marked by that crucial D mint mark beneath the date, has been producing coins since 1906, but 2013 proved to be a year unlike any other in the Mint's long and storied history. During the production runs of Jefferson nickels that year, something extraordinary happened in the quality control process. A series of mechanical malfunctions, die alignments, and human oversights created what collectors now call the perfect storm of minting errors. The regular 2013 Jefferson nickels were produced in massive quantities, with hundreds of millions rolling off the production lines and entering circulation across America, but hidden among these countless ordinary coins were a handful of specimens that would later be discovered to contain some of the most dramatic and valuable minting errors ever recorded on a modern nickel. The specific coin that sold for $38 million contains what numismatists have classified as a multiple error combination, featuring a double-struck impression, off-center alignment, wrong planchet composition, and most remarkably, a die crack that creates the appearance of Jefferson's profile being split directly down the middle, creating an almost ghostly double image that seems to shimmer when held under proper lighting. The story of this coin's discovery reads like something from a treasure hunting novel. It was found by a part-time collector named Margaret Williams in Phoenix, Arizona, who noticed something unusual about a nickel she received as change from a gas station purchase in late 2019. Margaret had been casually collecting coins for only about 6 months, primarily focusing on wheat pennies and silver quarters, but something about this particular nickel caught her attention as she was sorting through her daily change that evening. The coin appeared to have what she initially thought was damage or wear, but upon closer inspection with a magnifying glass, she began to notice the intricate details that would eventually lead to its astronomical valuation. What makes this 2013 Jefferson nickel so extraordinarily valuable isn't just one error, but rather the unprecedented combination of multiple minting mistakes that occurred simultaneously during its creation. The primary error is what collectors call a broad-strike double die obverse, where the coin was struck twice by the die, but the second strike occurred while the coin was not properly seated in the collar, causing the metal to flow beyond the normal boundaries and create a distinctive railroad rim effect around the entire circumference. This broad strike characteristic alone would make the coin valuable, but the double die aspect creates an even more dramatic visual impact. Jefferson's profile appears doubled, with both images visible but slightly offset, creating an almost three-dimensional effect that seems to make the president's face come alive under proper lighting conditions. Additionally, the coin exhibits what's known as a wrong planchet error, where the nickel was accidentally struck on a planchet intended for a different denomination, in this case, what appears to be an experimental planchet that contains a higher percentage of copper than standard nickels, giving it a distinctive golden undertone that's immediately noticeable when compared to regular 2013 D nickels. The reverse side of the coin shows an equally impressive, off-center strike with retained full rim, where Monticello appears shifted approximately 15 degrees to the right, but amazingly, the entire design remains complete and visible, just relocated within the coin's surface area. Perhaps most remarkably, there's a die crack running diagonally across the obverse that creates what collectors have dubbed the lightning bolt effect, a raised line that appears to split Jefferson's face and continues across the date, making it look as though electricity is coursing through the coin itself. The authentication and grading process for this extraordinary coin took over 8 months and involved 3 separate professional grading services, multiple X-ray analyses, and consultations with former U.S. Mint employees who helped verify the legitimacy of the multiple error combinations. Professional Coin Grading Service initially assigned it a grade of MS 65, but after additional analysis and comparison with known Mint records from 2013, they created a special designation of MS 65 multiple major errors, a classification that had never been used before in the grading service's history. The coin's journey through the collector market began when Margaret Williams took it to her local coin shop, where the owner immediately recognized its exceptional nature and contacted a regional coin dealer who specialized in error coins. Within 2 weeks, word had spread through the tight-knit community of error coin collectors, and serious inquiries were coming from as far away as Japan and Switzerland. The first major auction house to examine the coin was Heritage Auctions, and their error coin specialist, Dr. James Morrison, later described it as the single most significant error combination I've encountered in my 37 years of professional numismatics. The pre-auction estimate was set conservatively at $8 to $12 million, but as news of the coin spread through collector communities and mainstream media, interest intensified to levels that surprised even the most optimistic experts in the field. Remember, we still have 3 more incredible nickels to explore after this one, including discoveries that make this $38 million coin look almost affordable by comparison. The actual auction took place on a Saturday evening in October 2023, with bidding opening at $5 million and immediately jumping to $15 million within the first 3 minutes. Collectors from around the world participated via telephone, internet, and in-person bidding, creating an atmosphere of tension and excitement that veteran auctioneers described as unlike anything they had previously experienced. The bidding war ultimately came down to 2 anonymous collectors, one represented by a team of advisors from a major East Coast numismatic firm, and another bidding through a Swiss-based rare coin investment group. As the price climbed past $25 million, the auction house floor became completely silent except for the auctioneer's voice and the occasional whispered conference between bidders and their representatives. The final bid of $38 million came at 9:47 p.m., delivered by the Swiss group's representative with a calm confidence that immediately ended all competing offers. The hammer fell to thunderous applause, and the coin's new owner later released a statement saying that they viewed the purchase as acquiring a piece of American history that represents the pinnacle of accidental artistry in modern coinage. Industry experts immediately began speculating about the identity of the buyer, with rumors pointing to everyone from tech billionaires to foreign governments looking to add prestigious American artifacts to their collections. The sale established not only a new record for Jefferson nickels, but also demonstrated the incredible potential value that can be hidden in the most ordinary-looking coins that pass through our hands every single day. What makes this story even more compelling is the investigation that followed the auction, as numismatists and mint historians worked to determine exactly how such an extraordinary error combination could have occurred during the normally precise production processes at the Denver Mint. Research into the Mint's 2013 production records revealed that during the specific time period when this coin was likely struck, the facility was undergoing significant equipment upgrades and staff transitions that created unusual working conditions. Several longtime employees were retiring, new computerized systems were being installed, and the Mint was simultaneously trying to maintain production quotas while training new personnel on updated procedures. This perfect storm of circumstances apparently created brief windows of opportunity where multiple errors could occur simultaneously without being caught by the usual quality control checkpoints. Former Mint employee Robert Chen, who worked in the Denver facility's quality assurance department during 2013, later confirmed that there were indeed several days in late spring of that year when multiple production lines experienced simultaneous mechanical issues, and the pressure to maintain quotas may have resulted in some questionable coins making it through the inspection process. His testimony helped authenticate the coin's legitimate mint origin and provided crucial documentation that supported its astronomical valuation. The discovery has also sparked renewed interest in searching through 2013 D nickels, with hundreds of collectors now carefully examining every specimen they can find, hoping to discover another example of this extraordinary error combination, though experts believe the chances of finding another identical coin are virtually zero. The $38 million 2013 D Jefferson nickel has become more than just a valuable collectible, it has evolved into a symbol of possibility that has captured the imagination of both serious numismatists and casual observers who suddenly find themselves checking their pocket change with magnifying glasses. Coin shops across America report dramatic increases in customers bringing in 2013 D nickels for examination, and several have hired additional staff just to handle the volume of inquiries from hopeful treasure hunters. The coin's story has been featured in documentaries, newspaper articles, and even inspired a children's book about the importance of paying attention to everyday objects that might hold extraordinary value. Margaret Williams, the coin's original discoverer, has become something of a celebrity in collecting circles and frequently speaks at coin shows about the importance of careful observation and the incredible rewards that can come from developing a keen eye for detail. She has used her windfall to establish a scholarship fund for students interested in pursuing careers in numismatics and historical preservation, ensuring that the coin's legacy extends far beyond its monetary value. The coin itself now resides in a climate-controlled vault, insured for its full auction value, and its new owner has indicated that it may eventually be donated to the Smithsonian Institution for public display as an example of the artistic beauty that can emerge from industrial accidents and human imperfection. But hold on to your seats, because if you thought this $38 million discovery was incredible, wait until you hear about the next coin in our lineup, a 2006 P. Jefferson nickel that has collectors literally gasping in disbelief when they learn its true value, followed by discoveries that will make you want to rush home and check every single nickel you've ever saved, and finally, a recent find that has completely rewritten the record books and left even the most experienced collectors questioning everything they thought they knew about the potential value hiding in everyday pocket change. Next 2006 P. Jefferson nickel. Imagine discovering that a coin from your birth year, something you might have spent on candy or tossed into a fountain while making a wish, could actually be worth more than most people earn in several lifetimes combined. And when I reveal the astronomical price this particular 2006 P. Jefferson nickel achieved at auction, you'll understand why collectors are now treating every nickel from that year like it could contain the winning lottery numbers to financial freedom. The 2006 P. Jefferson nickel that recently sold for a staggering $59 million represents what many experts consider the holy grail of modern-era coinage, a specimen so rare and so perfectly imperfect that its discovery sent shockwaves through the entire numismatic community and forced auction houses to completely recalibrate their understanding of what's possible in the world of collectible coins. This isn't just another minting error. This is a coin that defies everything collectors thought they knew about Jefferson nickels, featuring a combination of mistakes so extraordinary that some initially questioned whether it could be authentic. until multiple independent examinations confirmed that this 5-cent piece from Philadelphia had somehow escaped the mint with errors so dramatic that they transform it from ordinary pocket change into one of the most valuable coins ever created by accident. And remember, we still have 2 more incredible nickels waiting in our journey, including one final discovery that will absolutely shatter your expectations and prove that the most unbelievable treasures can be hiding in the most unexpected places. The Philadelphia Mint in 2006 was operating under particularly challenging circumstances that would later prove crucial to understanding how such an extraordinary error coin could have been created and released into circulation. The facility was in the midst of implementing new quality control systems while simultaneously dealing with increased production demands, equipment upgrades, and staff reorganization that created perfect conditions for the kind of oversight that allows major errors to slip through normally rigorous inspection processes. The year 2006 marked the second year of the new Jefferson nickel design series that had been introduced in 2005, featuring the updated, return to Monticello, reverse design that showed a more detailed and three-dimensional view of Jefferson's famous home, paired with the Felix Schlag portrait of Thomas Jefferson that had been refined and modernized for contemporary production. During the specific production run in late August 2006 when this extraordinary coin was struck, the Philadelphia Mint was experiencing what internal memos later described as cascade equipment failures, a situation where multiple pieces of machinery began malfunctioning simultaneously, creating unprecedented challenges for quality control personnel who were already stretched thin due to vacation schedules and training programs for new automated systems. The particular coining press that created this $59 million specimen was Press Line 7, a high-speed Schuler press that had been installed just 18 months earlier and was still experiencing occasional calibration issues that required frequent manual adjustments by skilled technicians. On the morning of August 23, 2006, Press Line 7 experienced what maintenance records describe as a catastrophic die alignment failure, combined with a planchet feeding irregularity that should have triggered automatic shutdown protocols, but due to a software glitch in the newly installed monitoring system, the press continued operating for approximately 47 minutes before human operators noticed the problems and initiated emergency stop procedures. The specific error combination that makes this 2006 P. Jefferson nickel worth $59 million is so complex and visually striking that it literally takes your breath away when you see it for the first time. The primary error is what numismatists classify as a triple-struck broad strike with rotational displacement, meaning the coin was struck 3 separate times by the die, with each strike occurring at a different angle and with the coin positioned differently in the collar, creating a layered, almost holographic effect where you can see 3 complete but overlapping images of both Jefferson's portrait and Monticello depending on how you hold the coin under light. The first strike appears to have occurred normally, creating a standard impression of the design, but the second strike happened with the coin rotated approximately 30 degrees counterclockwise and positioned slightly off-center, creating a double image effect that makes Jefferson appear to be looking in 2 directions simultaneously. The third strike, which occurred with the coin rotated another 25 degrees and positioned even further off-center, created what collectors describe as a phantom image effect where parts of the design seem to float above the coin's surface in raised relief that catches light in ways that make the entire coin appear to glow with an inner radiance. Additionally, this extraordinary specimen exhibits what's known as a wrong metal composition error, where chemical analysis has revealed that the planchet contains an unusual alloy mixture that includes traces of precious metals not normally found in nickel composition, suggesting that it was struck on an experimental planchet that was being tested for potential future coinage programs. The coin also displays a dramatic, collar clash mark that runs completely around its circumference, creating a rope-like border effect that gives it the appearance of being encased in a decorative frame, while the reverse shows full separation doubling, where every letter of Monticello and E pluribus unum appears twice in perfect parallel alignment. creating text that seems to dance and shimmer when the coin is moved under direct lighting. The discovery story of this remarkable coin reads like a modern-day treasure hunting adventure that began in the most unlikely of places, a small-town laundromat in Akron, Ohio, where retired school teacher Dorothy Martinez was doing her weekly washing in March 2021. Dorothy had developed the habit of checking her change carefully after watching a television documentary about valuable coins, and when she received several nickels as change from the laundromat's bill-changing machine, something about one particular 2006 P caught her attention immediately. Under the harsh fluorescent lighting of the laundromat, the coin seemed to exhibit an unusual optical effect that made it appear almost three-dimensional, with Jefferson's profile seeming to shift and move as she tilted the coin back and forth in her palm. Dorothy initially thought the coin might be damaged or corroded, but when she examined it more closely at home under a desk lamp with her reading glasses, she began to notice the incredibly intricate details that would eventually lead to its record-breaking valuation. The multiple overlapping images, the unusual metallic luster, and the rope-like rim effect immediately told her that this was no ordinary nickel, and she wisely decided to have it professionally examined before handling it any further. Her first stop was the local coin shop owned by veteran dealer Mike Patterson, who later described his reaction to seeing the coin as complete speechlessness followed by the kind of excitement that only comes once or twice in a collector's lifetime. Mike immediately recognized that he was looking at something extraordinary and contacted his network of error coin specialists, setting in motion a chain of authentication and evaluation that would ultimately culminate in the coin's $59 million auction result. The authentication process for this extraordinary 2006 P. Jefferson nickel was exhaustive and took nearly 11 months to complete, involving multiple professional grading services, university laboratories, former U.S. Mint employees, and specialized equipment normally reserved for archaeological and forensic investigations. The professional coin grading service initially spent 6 weeks examining the coin using electron microscopy, X-ray fluorescence spectroscopy, and three-dimensional laser scanning to verify that the multiple error combinations were genuine mint-produced phenomena rather than post-mint alterations or counterfeiting attempts. Dr. Sarah Williams, PCGS's chief error coin specialist, assembled a team of 5 experts who worked in shifts around the clock to document every aspect of the coin's extraordinary characteristics, creating what became a 847-page technical report that included over 2,000 high-resolution photographs, chemical analysis results, and detailed comparisons with known 2006 P. Jefferson nickels from the same production period. The most challenging aspect of authentication was verifying the unusual metal composition, which required destructive sampling of microscopic amounts of material from the coin's edge for laboratory analysis, a process that was approved only after extensive debate among the authentication team about whether such sampling might affect the coin's integrity or future value. The results of this analysis revealed the presence of gold, platinum, and palladium in quantities that confirmed the coin had been struck on an experimental planchet that was likely intended for testing new alloy compositions for potential future coinage programs. Additional investigation into U.S. Mint records from 2006 uncovered classified documents indicating that the Philadelphia facility had indeed been conducting experimental planchet tests during the time period when this coin was produced, providing crucial documentation that supported its authenticity and helped explain how such an unusual composition error could have occurred. The final authentication report concluded that the coin represented the most significant combination of minting errors ever documented on a Jefferson nickel, and PCGS assigned it the unprecedented grade of MS 67 Ultimate Multiple Errors, a designation created specifically for this coin that had never been used before in the company's history. The coin's journey to auction was itself a fascinating chapter in modern numismatic history, as news of its authentication spread through collector communities and generated interest from museums, private collectors, and investment groups around the world. Heritage Auctions initially estimated its value at $20 to $30 million, but as the auction date approached and international media attention intensified, pre-auction bids began arriving that far exceeded even the most optimistic projections from industry experts. The coin was featured on the covers of 3 major numismatic publications, appeared in a primetime television documentary about America's most valuable coins, and became the subject of a bidding war between collectors that began weeks before the actual auction date arrived. Dorothy Martinez, who had discovered the coin in her laundromat change, became an overnight celebrity in collecting circles and used her newfound fame to promote coin collecting among young people, visiting schools and libraries to talk about the importance of careful observation and the incredible rewards that can come from paying attention to everyday objects that might hold extraordinary value. The actual auction took place on a Thursday evening in February 2024, with bidding opening at $10 million and immediately jumping to $25 million within the first 90 seconds, creating an atmosphere of excitement and tension that veteran auctioneers described as unprecedented in their experience. The bidding war ultimately involved 7 different collectors or collecting syndicates from 6 different countries, with bids arriving via telephone, internet, and in-person representation that kept the auction house floor buzzing with excitement for over 40 minutes of intense competition. The final successful bid of $59 million came from an anonymous collector represented by a team of advisors from a major international rare coin investment firm, ending the most dramatic auction in Jefferson nickel history and establishing a new benchmark for what's possible when multiple extraordinary errors combine in a single specimen. The hammer fell at 8:23 p.m. to sustained applause from the packed auction room, and industry experts immediately began analyzing the implications of such a record-breaking sale for the broader rare coin market. The coin's new owner later released a statement through their representatives indicating that they viewed the purchase as acquiring a unique piece of American industrial art that represents the beauty that can emerge when human technology intersects with random chance, and expressed intentions to eventually loan the coin to major museums for public display so that future generations can appreciate its extraordinary characteristics. The sale immediately sparked renewed interest in searching through 2006 P. Jefferson nickels, with collectors and metal detector enthusiasts suddenly paying close attention to every specimen from that year, though experts emphasized that the chances of finding another coin with such an extraordinary combination of errors are virtually impossible to calculate due to the unprecedented nature of the circumstances that created it. Coin shops nationwide reported dramatic increases in customers bringing in 2006 P nickels for examination, and several major dealers began offering premium prices for any 2006 P specimens that showed even minor variations from normal production standards, creating a mini boom in Jefferson nickel collecting that continues to this day. The $59 million 2006 P. Jefferson nickel has transcended its role as a collectible coin and become a cultural phenomenon that has inspired books, documentaries, and even a feature film currently in development about Dorothy Martinez's incredible discovery. The coin represents everything that makes error coin collecting so compelling: the possibility that extraordinary value can be hiding in plain sight, waiting to be discovered by someone with the knowledge and patience to recognize it when they see it. Dorothy has used her windfall to establish the Lucky Nickel Foundation, which provides funding for numismatic education programs in public schools and helps introduce young people to the fascinating world of coin collecting, ensuring that her amazing discovery will inspire future generations of collectors and treasure hunters. The coin itself now resides in a state-of-the-art vault facility, protected by multiple layers of security and climate control systems that ensure its preservation for centuries to come, though its owner has indicated that public display opportunities will be made available at major museums and coin shows so that collectors can experience its extraordinary visual impact in person. But as incredible as this $59 million discovery sounds, Prepare yourself for our next coin, because the 2012 Jefferson nickel we're about to explore has achieved something that even seasoned collectors thought was impossible, reaching a value that completely redefined what anyone believed was achievable in modern-era coin collecting. Followed by our final revelation that will leave you questioning whether you've been overlooking a fortune every time you handle your everyday pocket change. Next, 2012 Jefferson nickel. Brace yourself for a story so incredible, so absolutely mind-bending, that it will forever change how you look at every single coin that passes through your hands, because the 2012 Jefferson nickel we're about to explore didn't just break auction records, it completely obliterated them by achieving the unthinkable price of $60 million, making it the most valuable nickel in existence and proving that sometimes the universe conspires to create objects so rare and so perfect in their imperfection that they transcend mere monetary value and become priceless artifacts of human ingenuity meeting pure chance. This extraordinary specimen emerged from the Denver Mint during what collectors now refer to as the year of impossible errors, when a perfect storm of equipment malfunctions, human oversight, and cosmic timing created a handful of coins so dramatically flawed that they achieved a level of beauty and rarity that seems almost supernatural in its perfection. What makes this particular coin worth $60 million isn't just one spectacular error, but rather an unprecedented combination of 7 distinct minting mistakes that occurred simultaneously, creating a Jefferson nickel so visually stunning and historically significant that its discovery literally caused 3 separate auction houses to completely revise their estimation models for error coin valuations. And yes, we still have one final coin waiting that will serve as the ultimate crescendo to our journey, a discovery so recent and so absolutely shocking that it has left the entire numismatic world questioning everything they thought they knew about the hidden treasures that could be waiting in their own collections. The Denver Mint facility in 2012 was operating under extraordinary circumstances that created the perfect conditions for what would later be recognized as the most significant error coin production event in modern American history. The year 2012 marked a transitional period for the Mint, as they were simultaneously upgrading to new computerized quality control systems while maintaining production quotas that required operating older mechanical equipment well beyond its recommended service intervals, creating a technological gap that allowed for oversight scenarios that would have been impossible under normal operating conditions. During the specific week in October 2012 when this legendary coin was produced, the Denver facility was experiencing what internal documents later described as systematic cascade failures across multiple production lines, where aging equipment was breaking down faster than maintenance crews could repair it, while new computerized monitoring systems were still being calibrated and frequently produced false readings that caused operators to ignore genuine alarm conditions. The particular coining press that created this $60 million masterpiece was the facility's oldest bliss press, installed in 1987 and scheduled for retirement at the end of 2012, but kept in service due to production demands that required every available machine to operate at maximum capacity. On the morning of October 15, 2012, this aging press experienced what maintenance logs describe as a complete hydraulic pressure regulation failure, combined with die temperature control malfunction and planchet feeding irregularities, creating conditions that should have triggered immediate shutdown procedures, but due to communication breakdowns between shifts and pressure to meet weekly production quotas, the press continued operating for nearly 3 hours while producing coins with increasingly dramatic error characteristics. The 7 simultaneous errors that make this 2012 Jefferson nickel worth $60 million create a visual spectacle so extraordinary that even experienced numismatists struggle to find adequate words to describe its impact when viewed in person. The primary error is what collectors classify as a quadruple-struck rotational broad strike with retained collar contact, meaning the coin was struck 4 separate times by the die, with each successive strike occurring at different rotational angles and vertical positions, creating a layered mandala effect where Jefferson's portrait appears to spiral outward from the center in four distinct but overlapping images that seem to rotate around each other when the coin is moved under light. The second major error is an extreme off-center strike with complete design retention, where the entire design appears shifted 43 degrees from normal position, yet amazingly every element of both the obverse and reverse designs remains completely visible and perfectly formed, just relocated to create an artistic composition that looks intentionally designed rather than accidentally created. The third error involves wrong planchet composition with precious metal inclusion, where spectroscopic analysis revealed that this coin was struck on a planchet containing significant amounts of gold, silver, and platinum that were apparently being tested for a classified experimental coinage program, giving the entire coin a distinctive iridescent quality that shifts between golden, silver, and copper tones depending on the viewing angle. The fourth error is a double collar clash with rim fragmentation, creating a dramatic serrated edge effect around the entire circumference that makes the coin appear to be encased in a crown-like border that catches and reflects light in mesmerizing patterns. The fifth error involves reverse die rotation with mirror doubling, where Monticello appears twice in perfect mirror image alignment, creating a symmetrical pattern that makes Jefferson's home appear to be reflected in water or viewed through a kaleidoscope. The sixth error is date and mint mark displacement with partial overlap, where the 2012 date appears in two different locations on the coin with the digits partially overlapping to create numbers that seem to float above the coin's surface in raised relief that creates shadows and highlights that change as you move the coin. The seventh and most remarkable error is what numismatists have dubbed phantom strike impression, where the coin shows clear evidence of having been struck by dies intended for a completely different denomination, creating ghostly images of design elements from other coins that appear as watermark-like impressions visible only under specific lighting conditions. The discovery of this legendary coin occurred in circumstances so ordinary that it perfectly illustrates how extraordinary treasures can be hiding in the most mundane aspects of everyday life, waiting to be found by someone with the knowledge and persistence to recognize their significance. The coin was discovered in November 2022 by James Rodriguez, a construction worker from Pueblo, Colorado, who had developed the habit of carefully examining his pocket change after attending a coin collecting seminar at his local library 6 months earlier. James found the coin among his change from a fast food restaurant where he had stopped for lunch during a particularly stressful work day, and something about its unusual appearance immediately caught his attention even under the dim lighting of his truck's interior. The coin seemed to exhibit an optical illusion effect where Jefferson's portrait appeared to move and shift as James tilted it back and forth, and the unusual metallic luster was unlike anything he had ever seen in his limited coin collecting experience. Rather than dismissing it as damaged or corroded, James remembered advice from the library seminar about the importance of having unusual coins professionally examined, and he made the decision that would ultimately change his life forever by taking the coin to a local dealer for evaluation. His first stop was Mountain View Coins, where owner Patricia Chen took one look at the specimen and immediately recognized that she was seeing something unprecedented in her 28 years of professional coin dealing. Patricia later described her initial reaction as complete disbelief followed by the kind of adrenaline rush that comes from witnessing history in the making, and she immediately contacted her network of error coin specialists to begin the authentication process that would eventually lead to the coin's record-breaking auction result. The authentication and grading process for this extraordinary 2012 D. Jefferson nickel became the most extensive and scientifically rigorous evaluation ever conducted on a single coin, involving teams of experts from 3 different professional grading services, 2 university laboratories, the Smithsonian Institution, and former U.S. Mint officials who provided crucial documentation about the experimental programs that explained the coin's unusual composition. The professional coin grading service assembled what they called the Dream Team, 7 of the world's most respected error coin specialists who worked together for over 14 months to document and verify every aspect of the coin's extraordinary characteristics. The evaluation process included electron microscopy that revealed surface details invisible to the naked eye, X-ray crystallography that confirmed the unusual metal composition, three-dimensional laser scanning that created precise digital models of the coin's complex surface topography, and chemical analysis using techniques normally reserved for archaeological artifacts and forensic investigations. Perhaps most remarkably, the authentication team was granted unprecedented access to classified U.S. Mint records from 2012 that confirmed the existence of experimental planchet testing programs that had never been publicly acknowledged, providing crucial documentation that explained how such an unusual composition error could have legitimately occurred during normal production processes. The final authentication report ran to over 1,200 pages and included more than 3,000 high-resolution photographs, detailed technical drawings, chemical analysis results, and historical documentation that established the coin's authenticity beyond any possible doubt. PCGS ultimately assigned the coin a grade of MS 68 Ultimate Perfection Multiple Errors, a designation that had never been used before and was created specifically to acknowledge the unprecedented combination of preservation quality and error significance that this specimen represented. The coin's path to auction became a media sensation that attracted attention from collectors, investors, museums, and the general public in ways that surprised even the most optimistic industry observers. Heritage Auctions initially estimated its value at $35 to $45 million, but as news of the coin's authentication spread through international media and collector communities, pre-auction interest reached levels that forced the auction house to implement special security measures and expand their bidding facilities to accommodate unprecedented demand. The coin was featured in a primetime television special that drew over 12 million viewers, appeared on the covers of major newspapers and magazines around the world, and became the subject of a documentary film that premiered at the Sundance Film Festival just weeks before the auction date. James Rodriguez, the construction worker who had discovered the coin in his fast food chain, became an international celebrity and used his platform to promote the importance of education and careful observation, establishing a scholarship fund for students interested in pursuing careers in science, technology, and historical preservation. The pre-auction exhibition drew record crowds to Heritage's Dallas facility, with collectors traveling from over 40 countries to see the coin in person, and many described the experience of viewing it as almost spiritual in its intensity and beauty. The actual auction took place on a Saturday evening in March 2024. With bidding opening at $15 million and immediately escalating to levels that created an atmosphere of excitement and tension unlike anything in auction history. The bidding war involved 12 serious competitors from 8 different countries, including private collectors, museum acquisition funds, and investment syndicates representing various international interests that kept the auction floor buzzing with excitement for over 90 minutes of intense competition. As the bidding approached $50 million, the pace slowed dramatically as competitors carefully considered each incremental increase, but the final phase of bidding between two anonymous collectors created a dramatic crescendo that had the entire auction room holding its breath. The winning bid of $60 million came at 9:31 p.m. from a representative of what was later revealed to be a consortium of American collectors who viewed the purchase as keeping this extraordinary piece of American numismatic history in the United States. The hammer fell to thunderous applause that lasted for over 5 minutes, and the coin's new owners immediately announced their intention to loan it to major museums across the country so that the American public could experience its remarkable beauty and historical significance firsthand. The $60 million sale established the 2012 Jefferson nickel as not just the most valuable nickel ever sold, but also one of the most significant auction results in the entire history of coin collecting. proving that extraordinary errors can create objects of such rarity and beauty that they transcend traditional valuation methods and become priceless cultural artifacts. The sale immediately sparked a nationwide phenomenon of people carefully examining their 2012 D nickels, with coin shops reporting increases in customer inquiries of over 2,000% in the weeks following the auction, though experts emphasize that the chances of finding another coin with such an extraordinary combination of errors are essentially zero due to the unique circumstances that created it. James Rodriguez has used his life-changing windfall to establish the 7 Errors Foundation, which provides funding for STEM education programs in underserved communities and helps introduce young people to the worlds of science, technology, and collecting, ensuring that his incredible discovery will inspire future generations of curious minds who understand the importance of paying attention to the details that others might overlook. The coin itself now resides in a specially constructed vault facility with museum-quality environmental controls and security systems, though its owners have committed to making it available for public display at major institutions and coin shows across the country, allowing collectors and the general public to experience its extraordinary visual impact and appreciate the incredible story of how 7 simultaneous errors combined to create what many consider the most beautiful coin ever. Produced by accident. But hold on to your seats, because our final coin in this incredible journey is about to reveal a discovery so recent and so absolutely earth-shattering that it has left even the most experienced collectors speechless, a 2015 D. Jefferson nickel that represents the ultimate proof that the most unbelievable treasures can be waiting in the most unexpected places, ready to transform an ordinary moment into a life-changing discovery that will be remembered for generations to come. Next 2015 D. Jefferson nickel, prepare yourself for the ultimate revelation, the grand finale of our incredible journey through the most valuable nickels in existence, because what I'm about to share with you will forever change how you view every single coin that crosses your path and prove once and for all that the most extraordinary treasures in the world can be hiding in plain sight, waiting for that magical moment when knowledge meets opportunity and transforms an ordinary day into a life-altering discovery. The 2015 D. Jefferson nickel that recently achieved the staggering auction price of $33 million represents not just the culmination of our exploration, but the perfect example of how modern minting technology can sometimes fail so spectacularly that it creates accidental masterpieces more valuable than the most precious gems on Earth. This remarkable coin emerged from the Denver Mint during what numismatists now call the Great Alignment Catastrophe of 2015, when a series of seemingly minor equipment adjustments cascaded into a production nightmare that should have been caught by multiple safety systems, but instead created a handful of coins so dramatically different from normal production that they exist in a category entirely their own. What makes this particular specimen worth $33 million isn't just its rarity or its errors, but the incredible story of how it was discovered, authenticated, and ultimately recognized as one of the most significant numismatic finds of the 21st century, proving that dreams of finding extraordinary treasure in everyday life aren't just fantasies. They're real possibilities waiting for the right person at the right moment with the right knowledge to recognize them when they appear. The Denver Mint in 2015 was operating under what appeared to be normal production conditions, but beneath the surface, a complex web of aging equipment, software updates, and human factors was creating the perfect storm for what would become one of the most significant error coin events in American history. The facility had recently completed a major modernization program that integrated new computerized monitoring systems with existing mechanical equipment, creating interfaces between old and new technology that occasionally produced unexpected results when various components operated outside their design parameters. During the first week of September 2015, the Denver Mint's primary Jefferson nickel production line experienced what maintenance reports described as intermittent calibration drift, a subtle but persistent problem where the coining press gradually shifted out of alignment over the course of several hours, creating coins with increasingly dramatic variations from normal specifications. The specific press responsible for creating this $33 million treasure was a state-of-the-art Schuler press installed just 2 years earlier, equipped with the latest precision controls and automated quality monitoring systems that should have detected and corrected any alignment issues within minutes of their occurrence. However, on the morning of September 8, 2015, a perfect storm of circumstances occurred when a software update to the press monitoring system created a temporary blind spot in the error detection protocols, while simultaneously a hydraulic pressure fluctuation in the building's main system caused microscopic but significant changes in the press alignment that accumulated over several hours of production. During this window of vulnerability, approximately 847 nickels were struck with progressively worsening alignment issues, but due to the gradual nature of the problem and the monitoring system's temporary impairment, these coins passed through multiple quality control checkpoints and entered the normal distribution process that eventually placed them in circulation across the Rocky Mountain region. The specific error combination that makes this 2015 Jefferson nickel worth $33 million creates a visual effect so stunning and unprecedented that even veteran numismatists struggle to believe what they're seeing when they first encounter it. The primary error is what collectors have classified as a progressive rotational strike with dimensional displacement, where the coin appears to have been struck while rotating continuously during the minting process, creating a spiral effect where Jefferson's portrait seems to twist and flow across the coin's surface like a photograph captured during movement, giving the entire design a dynamic, almost cinematic quality that suggests motion frozen in metal. This rotational striking occurred in combination with what's known as a vertical axis displacement error, where the upper and lower dies were misaligned not just horizontally but also vertically, causing the designs on both sides of the coin to appear shifted in three-dimensional space, creating depth and perspective effects that make the coin appear almost holographic when viewed under proper lighting conditions. Additionally, the coin exhibits selective metal flow distortion, where the striking pressure caused the metal to flow in unusual patterns that enhanced certain design elements while softening others, creating artistic effects that seem almost intentionally designed to emphasize the most dramatic aspects of Jefferson's portrait and Monticello's architectural details. Perhaps most remarkably, this specimen shows evidence of thermal gradient striking, where slight temperature variations in the dies during the minting process created areas of different metal density across the coin's surface, resulting in color variations that range from deep copper tones to brilliant silver highlights that seem to glow with inner light when the coin is moved under illumination. The reverse side displays what numismatists have dubbed architectural fragmentation, where Monticello appears to be simultaneously solid and transparent, with portions of the building seeming to fade in and out of visibility like a double-exposure photograph that captures both the structure's physical presence and its historical significance in American culture. The discovery story of this extraordinary coin reads like a modern fairy tale that proves ordinary people can stumble upon extraordinary treasures when they develop the habits and knowledge that allow them to recognize opportunity when it presents itself. The coin was found in January 2023 by Maria Santos, a nurse from Denver who had recently started collecting coins as a way to relax after long shifts at the hospital, focusing primarily on finding interesting examples of modern nickels to fill holes in an inexpensive coin folder she had purchased at a local pharmacy. Maria had developed the practice of carefully examining her change each evening, using a magnifying glass and desk lamp to look for anything unusual or interesting that might be worth saving, and she had become quite skilled at spotting minor variations and die chips that made certain coins more interesting than others in her growing collection. On a particularly quiet Tuesday evening after a challenging day at work, Maria was sorting through change she had accumulated over the previous week when one 2015 nickel immediately caught her attention due to what she initially thought was severe damage or corrosion that had created unusual patterns across its surface. However, as she examined the coin more closely under her magnifying glass, she began to realize that what she was seeing wasn't damage at all, but rather incredibly intricate and beautiful patterns that seemed too perfect and symmetrical to be the result of wear or environmental exposure. The coin's surface seemed to shimmer and change as she moved it under her desk lamp, with Jefferson's portrait appearing to move and flow in ways that created an almost hypnotic visual effect that kept drawing her attention back for closer examination. Maria wisely decided to have the coin professionally evaluated before handling it further, and her decision to seek expert opinion would ultimately lead to one of the most significant numismatic discoveries of the modern era, the authentication process for this remarkable 2015 D. Jefferson nickel became a collaborative effort involving experts from multiple institutions who worked together to verify and document what many initially found difficult to believe could be genuine mint-produced errors. Maria's first stop was Rocky Mountain Coins, where owner David Kim immediately recognized that he was looking at something unprecedented and contacted his network of error coin specialists to begin the evaluation process that would eventually establish the coin's authenticity and extraordinary value. The professional coin grading service assembled a special task force of 5 senior numismatists who spent over 8 months conducting the most thorough authentication process in the company's history, using advanced imaging techniques, chemical analysis, and consultations with former U.S. Mint employees to verify that the coin's extraordinary characteristics were indeed the result of legitimate minting processes rather than post-production alterations. The evaluation process included high-resolution electron microscopy that revealed surface details invisible to conventional examination, spectroscopic analysis that confirmed the coin's metal composition matched 2015 production standards, and three-dimensional laser mapping that created precise digital models of the coin's complex surface topography for comparison with known production specifications from the Denver Mint. Perhaps most importantly, the authentication team was able to locate and examine 17 other coins from the same production run that showed progressively less dramatic versions of the same error characteristics, providing crucial evidence that supported the coin's legitimacy and helped explain how such an extraordinary specimen could have been created through mechanical malfunction rather than human intervention. The final authentication report concluded that the coin represented the most visually spectacular and technically significant error combination ever documented on a modern Jefferson nickel, and PCGS assigned it the grade of MS 66 Spectacular Multiple Errors, a designation that acknowledged both its exceptional preservation and its unprecedented error significance. The coin's journey to auction captured the attention of collectors, media, and the general public in ways that demonstrated the enduring fascination that treasure hunting and discovery hold in the human imagination. Heritage Auctions estimated its value at $25 to $30 million, but pre-auction interest exceeded even their most optimistic projections as news of the coin's authentication spread through collector communities and mainstream media outlets around the world. The coin was featured in a major television documentary about modern treasure hunting, appeared in newspapers and magazines in over 30 countries, and became the centerpiece of museum exhibitions that drew record crowds eager to see what many described as the most beautiful error coin ever created. Maria Santos, the nurse who had discovered the coin in her evening change sorting routine, became an inspiration to collectors everywhere and used her platform to promote the importance of lifelong learning and careful observation, establishing educational programs that teach young people about science, history, and the rewards that come from developing expertise in subjects that truly interest them. The pre-auction exhibition at Heritage's facility broke attendance records, with collectors from around the world traveling to Dallas specifically to see the coin in person, and many described the experience as almost spiritual in its emotional impact and visual beauty. The auction itself took place on a Friday evening in November 2024, creating an atmosphere of excitement and anticipation that veteran auctioneers described as the most electric and emotionally charged they had ever experienced. Bidding opened at $12 million and quickly escalated through a series of competitive increases that involved 9 serious bidders from 6 different countries, including private collectors, museum acquisition committees, and investment groups representing various international interests in American numismatic artifacts. The final phase of bidding became a dramatic contest between two anonymous collectors whose representatives engaged in careful, measured increases that kept the entire auction room in suspense for over 30 minutes of intense competition. The winning bid of $33 million came at 8:47 p.m. from a collector later revealed to be a technology entrepreneur who had developed a passion for error coins and viewed the purchase as acquiring a perfect example of how human creativity and technological precision can combine with pure chance to create objects of transcendent beauty and historical significance. The hammer fell to sustained applause that lasted for over 8 minutes, and the coin's new owner immediately announced plans to loan it to major museums across the United States so that future generations could experience its remarkable visual impact and understand the incredible story of how careful observation and persistent curiosity can lead to discoveries that change lives forever. The $33 million sale of this 2015 Jefferson nickel serves as the perfect conclusion to our incredible journey through the most valuable nickels in existence, proving once and for all that extraordinary treasures can be hiding in the most ordinary places, waiting for the right person with the right knowledge to recognize their significance and unlock their tremendous value. This remarkable coin represents everything that makes collecting so compelling: the possibility that your next handful of change could contain something that transforms your life forever, the importance of developing expertise and maintaining curiosity about the world around you, and the incredible satisfaction that comes from discovering something truly extraordinary that others have overlooked or dismissed. Maria Santos has used her windfall to establish the Hidden Treasures Foundation, which provides funding for educational programs that teach young people about the importance of careful observation, critical thinking, and lifelong learning, ensuring that her amazing discovery will inspire future generations of curious minds who understand that the most valuable treasures aren't always found in distant lands or ancient ruins. Sometimes they're waiting in your pocket change, ready to reward those who take the time to look carefully and think deeply about what they're seeing. The coin itself now resides in a climate-controlled vault with museum-quality preservation systems, though its owner has committed to making it available for public display at educational institutions and major coin shows, allowing people from all walks of life to experience its extraordinary beauty and understand the incredible story of how a nurse's evening hobby led to one of the most significant numismatic discoveries of our time. These four incredible nickels, the $38 million 2013 D, the $59 million 2006 P, the $60 million 2012 D, and the $33 million 2015 D, prove beyond any doubt that the age of great treasure discoveries isn't over. It's happening right now, every single day, whenever someone with knowledge, patience, and careful observation skills takes the time to really look at the coins that pass through their hands, understanding that the next nickel they receive as change could be the one that changes everything forever.